Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I want to talk about this tweet that I found today. This is a subject that I've talked about before in the past. It's great to see somebody else that also feels the same way. And this is from Charles Meaden. And he says, "Hey, hip digital agencies, here's an idea for you. Next project, take a look at what percentage of traffic comes from search engines. And if it's more than 1%, which is pretty likely, start thinking about SEO at the beginning rather than at the end." Now, I've talked about this before. This is one of the very first videos that I did when I relaunched this YouTube over 2.5 years ago. Was talking about this very same subject. Now, the first 5 years or so that I was working as a web developer, I worked with a lot of design-centric agencies. And no shame to them. They were very good at design. They were very good at visual design. Some of them were good at branding. Those things that they really had capabilities of. But what I have noticed in a lot of agencies is that SEO is still thought of as something that you do either after the site launches, or if you're doing it before the site launches, it's like the last step before it launches, as if it's something that you can just add in at the end. And I think it speaks to still there's a misconception about what SEO actually is. And I think a lot of people still believe that SEO is, adding keywords or, optimizing keywords in already existing content, in headlines, in title tags, in URLs. And that's definitely one aspect of SEO for sure. But everything that is in the website and on the website, and every design decision, design most definitely is a part of SEO. All these things. And it's not something that you can put off until the last minute. Now, there's some other things that I'll talk about at the end of this video that are some more notorious things where SEO is kind of left to the end. But it would be very forward thinking for an agency, whether they have an SEO department, whether they have an SEO like contractor or whatever partner that they work with. I know there are some people that do that. They have SEO partners that they just farm that stuff out to. But I think a radical idea which really needs to be done is consulting with SEO at the beginning. And there is a sentiment to that a lot of people have. And this person down here points it out, says, and I don't know this person, so I apologize in advance, but this person says, "Yeah, right. We all know what happens with SEOs when SEOs are in early meetings. They slow everything down and force design changes for some alleged crawling and indexing crap. Meaning we don't get fast track approval on our first design pass, so no thank you." Now, I understand that sentiment because, like I said, I've worked with a lot of very talented visual designers in the past. And that's where I learned a lot about the web industry and how to build good websites. I did learn a lot. But one thing that I've learned is I've made SEO my bread and butter, and not just an add-on, but the main thing that I'm selling. The main thing that I'm staking my reputation on. Something that can't be faked. It absolutely can be quantified. As, with the client sites, did their traffic go up or down? Did their rankings go up or down? Did their revenue go up or down? Not something you can fake. Not something that an awards committee or a group of your peers can decide. It's something that the marketplace decides. One thing that I have discovered is design is absolutely a part of SEO. The functionality of the site meaning the web development, is absolutely a part of SEO. The content and what goes into that content, what subjects the content is even about, the content structure, the architecture, the pieces of content that are planned, what goes in each piece of content, all that is part of SEO. And if you don't have a game plan for that stuff right from the start, you're going to end up redoing it. So yeah, you can most definitely get the first pass of your design mock-up approved, but that's usually what the client then expects to see. That's usually what the client expects to see throughout the project, and deviating from that path once you've got approval of that is going to be really difficult. Now, one thing that I've discovered is I've, basically changed my life path to being someone who has now been making their living on the web, entirely from the web, for the last 8 years. Yeah. No. Last 7 years. Last 7 years. 7 years last month. Whatever a agency is most renowned for, whether it's design, or development, branding, content, copywriting, SEO, logos, whatever. Whatever thing that they're most known for and most renowned for, it's very hard for them to value anything else on equal footing. Very difficult. And that main thing is going to be the core of their agency, and it's going to be really hard for them to embrace something like SEO or thinking that SEO is part of design, but it absolutely is. Case in point, SEO has changed over the last few years. A lot of people have said that the design is part of SEO. People say user experience is part of SEO. They say site speed is part of SEO. That's one aspect, but there's other aspects. People believe content is part of SEO. But there's more to it than content. The elements that you put on the page, where you put them on the page, how you arrange them on the page is a part of SEO. And I know that's hard for some people to believe, but it's true. Because I look at the patterns every day. And there's, for each certain industry and vertical and each different type of keyword, phrase, there are certain things that Google expects to see. Not only in the URL, not only in the headline or the title or the content, but in the page elements and how they're laid out. It shows favor towards certain ones over time. And I think that really has something to do with the way that Google looks at, user signals. And I do believe that they look at user signals because not every site uses Google Analytics. And there's no way that they're leaving half of the websites in the world without a way to measure them. So they have to use something else. But yes, design, it absolutely would pay to have an SEO come in and at least, be on the same page with you. I'm not saying me or this person or that person, but find somebody to come in before you do a design and meet with the client, get the list of the things that they're trying to rank for or the things that they're currently ranking for. Make sure that you're not going to tank their rankings, or make sure that your design is going to improve their rankings by looking at what your SEO is going to tell you. What functionality needs to be on that page, meaning what do your developers need to put into that page that you're trying to rank for? Maybe there's pages that you need to have on this site that you didn't anticipate for. Maybe there's things that need to be in your design that you didn't anticipate for. I hate to say this, but I know that it's true. I know a lot of you know that it's true. But designers really do want to impress other designers. And it is the thing where you want to feel like you're worthy. We all want to feel like we're worthy. Developers try and impress other developers, and SEOs most definitely do that too. there's things that all those little subsections of building a website that specialists do to try and fit in and impress each other. And visual design or the page layout, however you want to say it, UI, UX, whatever. But when it comes to laying out a page and deciding what's going to go in it and how it's going to look, certain things that you can do will be better than others when it comes to your specific client and the specific things that they're trying to rank for. And that's all I'm saying, because I've seen it. It's not even a question. So I just thought this is a really interesting tweet. I hope that people take heed to it. Like I said, don't think that SEO is something that you can add at the very last minute, call somebody in and have them, do an incantation or sprinkle some fairy dust, and every other decision that you've made as far as design or development is going to be okay. Because if you've done all that stuff already, then whatever your SEO is going to do is not going to be a whole lot. Now, one thing I do want to talk about too is common things that people end up botching with SEO, and these things are more known. These things are more common. But some of the biggest things I've seen is, like, if it's a small business, let's say that they had a domain name before and they have links that have already been built out to it from their previous domain name. You can't just switch over to a new domain name without having that old domain. I've seen this a few times. So it's not even like it's a one-time thing. I've seen it plenty of times. You can't just buy a new domain name, because that new domain name is starting from scratch. You're starting from zero when you buy a new domain name. So if you're going to have a new domain, make sure that you get that old domain and then forward it, 301 redirect it to the new domain, so that you get all the benefit from all the hyperlinks from all the sites that have already been built, that already exist. So they point at your site and you're not just starting in the Google sandbox from zero. That's number one. Number two is just general 301 redirects. When it comes to building out the site architecture and planning out the site map of all the pages, maybe you got a chart and you've got all the pages laid out, how they're going to be, all your different silos, all those different things. Make sure that you have a plan for 301 redirecting the individual pages, because it's the same thing. Googlebot has infinite memory, so any URL, any web address that Google has come across before and indexed, it will try and crawl it again. So you want to make sure that you're redirecting old pages to the new equivalent pages, the replacement pages. And also, if there were links built to any of those previous pages internally or from sites outside of your site externally, make sure that you're 301 redirecting it. So get a spreadsheet with all the pages on the site, and then make sure that you're 301 redirecting them to the new URLs. If you do not have this plan in place, it is something that you should not wait until the last minute to do. This should be part of your initial planning when it comes to site architecture. These are just some things that I have seen, and that calling it SEO at the last minute, like a week before the launch, or calling it SEO, or giving your client like the name of SEO, or calling a SEO that like a month after the launch, it's going to be more difficult to fix those sorts of things than if you just plan to do them from the start. So my advocation to you, if you run an agency, web agency, digital agency, web development, web design, if you haven't thought about these things, definitely think about changing your process to where you have a SEO person or a SEO company or a small SEO team that comes in and does a consultation with you on your clients. Have them sign a non-disclosure if that makes you feel better. Have them sign like a no poaching policy or whatever. Have them subcontract to you if that is what you need to do. But make them a partner in your organization and someone that's part of your team. It's going to benefit you in a lot of ways. Now, obviously, if you're a bigger agency, you probably already have an SEO department. You probably already have a digital marketing team. If that's the case, change the flow to where they're giving you input from the start before the designers start making wireframes and mock-ups and all these things. Start having that SEO team or the SEO individuals in your organization give you input from the start. That's all I want to say on this. Good tweet. Thank you, Charles. I really appreciate it. My name's John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO. I'm here every single day making videos on SEO. And I want to say something. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have come on in the last few months. I think we've been averaging about 40 or 50 subscribers for the last 3 or 4 months. I want to say thanks. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are showing up and that you're getting value out of this. So I just wanted to say I will be here tomorrow with a new video. Until next time, peace.